Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and visiting guests. My name is Lázaro Alvarez, Club President for 2024. Thank you for making the time to be here. At this time, if you could please stand. We're going to have Bobby Haas lead us in prayer.
Before my prayer, I want to tell you that Eddie Newman, who was the former chief of police, passed away this week. And his funeral will be tomorrow, Friday at 2 o'clock. And he was chief of police for about 14 years. And he was very, very good person. I enjoyed, actually, when he came on board, I was actually involved in this department quite a bit. So I was working with planning research at that time. Very good guy. Our Father, we do thank you for this day. We thank you that you have been with us during this time, dear Father, and that we can rely upon you to guide us in all that we do. Give us some relief and guidance in this weather. Father, we just ask that you will be with us and that you will help us to do that which is for the betterment of this city and for this country. In your precious Son's name. Amen.
Thank you, Bobby. All right, if you please remain standing. John Van Buren, if you please lead us on the pledge.
I will, if you would face the flag, place your hand over your heart, repeat with me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, and it's good to see past President Shane Webb here today. So you guys don't have to hear to sing.
All right, normally we would sing God Bless America or America the Beautiful, but I'm going to invite y'all to go ahead and have a seat. We are going to wish a happy birthday to our beloved Sandra Davidson. She is That's pretty awesome. So please join me in singing happy birthday to Sandra. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sandra. Happy birthday to you. We love you.
All right. Up next, we're going to have Dr. Jose Parra do the introduction of this week's guest.
Irving, we have lots of guests today. I'm going to make it quick.
So first, we have David Hines over here. He's a guest of Lázaro.
We have Erin also over here at this table. She is guest of Robert also. And here at this table, we have Rosie Holden, guest of Donna Ariana. Over here, we have Morgan Birch, guest of Lázaro. We have Joe Lopez, guest of Lázaro. This table, we have Officer Brett Mayrons and Officer Jason Neal, and of course, Chief Derek Miller. And this individual, this is guest, she is a member in our hearts for sure, and she's the birthday girl, Sandra Davidson. And you see Lynette Robertson, Right here. Oh, there she is. Sorry with that. But she's City of Irving Library, COI. Nice to see that. Sorry about that. And then with the back table there, we have Michelle McDonald, North Dallas Bank and Trust. Yes, we're fairly all covered. And then the same table, we have, sorry, there it is, Freddie Naidu. I was trying to get that last name. Then over here at this table, we have Ignacio Medrano, Estabado. To Brian Martinez and Lugo Martinez, guests of Sylvia. Then finally, we have, where did she go? I saw her. The lady in yellow. We have master plan passed through together.
Thank you, Dr. Parr. I do want to make a special announcement. This weekend, some of us are part of the Irving Schools Foundation Supplies for Success giveaway at the Irving High School Library, the Irving High School cafeteria. If you were one of the volunteers, can you please stand up so we can recognize you for taking the time? And we had a couple there, Brian and Richard Raymond as well. So thanks for being there. It was a pretty busy morning, but again, with all the volunteers, everything was pretty easy to get done. Real quick after, again, there's at least over 4,800 students there picking up stuff between 8 in the morning and 12. And the process that we got going was pretty easy, and we were able to go through everybody that was there in a very timely manner as well. So today's program, we do have 2 programs today, and these are programs that we're very excited that we get to do this, which the first one is the recognition of the Officer of the Quarter for the Irving Police Department. Chief Bidders here with us, the officers, and we're going to have him in a few minutes come up. And then we also have the Mayor of Irving, Mayor Rick Stopfer, who you guys can learn a little bit more about. Mayor Rick Stopfer on your table. There's a little paper there that talks a little bit about him, but also you guys know the day that the work that he does, because we happen to be in a great community that he needs to feed. So thank you for that. At this moment, I'm going to have a flag chair, but also he also handles the Office of the Quarter responsibility. Rick Lindsay, to tell us more about what the Office of the Quarter is and how this works and get the program started.
Thank you, President Laz. It is my pleasure to be here today with this program. In 2018, the program that we're going to honor today was reinstated under the direction of past President 3 times, Robert Alston. Give it up for Robert also. Thank you much for hard work. This will be our 6th year to honor our first responders, and so working with the police chief and the fire chief, we are able to take their information and then honor their recipients of their officer or fireman of the quarter. So at this time, I would like to ask Councilman Kyle Taylor to join me up here. Mayor, if you'd like to join us up here. And then it is an honor and a pleasure for me to welcome our police chief, the city of Irving, Chief Derek Miller. Chief.
Thank you for having us. I want to tell you, we couldn't do our job without the support that we get from the community, without the support that you extend to us. And warms our heart to know that it's difficult of a job as the men and women of the Irving Police Department are doing, even the fire department. We really do appreciate your support. I'm excited to be your police chief. I'm telling you, this is one of the most amazing if not the most amazing police department in the country. The things that are going inside the building, I wish we could highlight them all because there's so much amazing work that's going on. And so every quarter we try to recognize that amazing work that's going on. We're going to do that today, just recognize two people. The first officer I want to talk about, his name is Brett Behrens. And Brett Behrens was the officer of the quarter for the second quarter. He's actually, you're going to really dig this, he's CSI. He's the crime scene unit investigator. So he hates that. You hear me? Okay. Over the last couple of years, his expertise has been recognized because he's been helping the Texas Forensic Commission and the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement with the training requirements. He recognized that our training requirements need to be changed or enhanced. And so he developed an investigator's course that is now required in a police officer's curriculum. The new requirement also reevaluates the policies and practices for accredited laboratories. So we have our own laboratory at the police department. So a lot of the things they collect, they bring back. It really enhances the cases that we're able to file. I don't know if you know the statistics, but it's a huge job for the forensic investigators. Hours, as you can imagine, are very difficult. He works every night and night, handling very, very difficult scenes. So I would like to ask Officer Behrens to come step forward and be recognized. Thank you so much.
Well, it is an honor to present this award to you. I'm gonna let the chief do it. And if he will allow me, I'd like to read what it says on that award. It says, Officer Brett Behrens, the Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club recognizes you for your commitment to integrity, excellence, courage, dedication to duty, leadership, teamwork, and accountability. We express our sincere gratitude for your professionalism, compassion, and loyalty in providing exceptional services and protecting and promoting high quality of life for residents, visitors, and businesses of the city of Irving, Texas. Chief, would you present the award? You gonna do pictures now or at the end? What's your choice? Do it at the end. Right.
Thank you. The next officer that we'd like to recognize is Jason Neal. One of the things that tell people all the time is we're all dealing with homelessness. Homelessness is tell people, you hear me? Maybe I think so. User homelessness is not illegal. But we have, as a police department, we have responsibilities in helping our fellow citizens. We launched an initiative a year ago or so. You probably see it if you saw the gray car outside. It's a police car. You looked at it, you tilted your head. That looks like a police car. It's not like a regular police car. Jason Neal is our homeless outreach police officer. And what he does is, in an intentional manner, we go out and we intentionally try to help our fellow men who may be unsheltered, unhoused, and finding them services, getting them out of harm's way. Oftentimes they fall prey to crime themselves as victims. And in the rare case, sometimes Jason does have to put his police officer down. But the work that he's doing, he's excelling in. This new resource is a benefit for our community, and the work that he's doing is absolutely amazing. So when you see him on the side of the road and he's talking to someone, I saw him the other day on the underpass of O'Connor and 114. I was like, you know what? To be able to stop and
take the time and try to work on these serious issues and complicated issues. Should be commended. And for that, we recognize Officer Jason Neal as our officer recorder for the first quarter.
I would like to read what's on that award. And it says, Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club recognizes Jason Neal for your commitment to integrity, excellence, courage, dedication to duty, leadership, teamwork, and accountability. We express our sincere gratitude for your professionalism, compassion, and loyalty in providing exceptional services and protecting and promoting a high quality of life for residents, visitors, and businesses of the city of Irving, Texas. Thank you. So we can hang right here for a second for a picture. And then Mayor, would you like to say a few words, or you want to include it in your talk? Okay, very good. President. Okay, Rotarians, please give these officers a round of applause. Y'all stand up.
Thank you to the officers for everything that you guys do. On my professional side, I get to deal a lot with Irving Police for running events that we put together. And I don't know what it is, but we always get compliments all the time, even in the reviews, about how the officers are always so helpful. And again, this is a responsibility of letting people know where to go and help them with traffic, but to do it with a smile and help people early in the morning, it just goes to a testament of how great our police department is, because we have great leaders like Chief Miller, who is there to make sure that we have the right people working on our city as well. So thank you for that. We're gonna move on to the second part of our program today. Again, our mayor doesn't really need a big introduction because most of you guys already know him. He's very active in our community, and being new to the community and seeing how active, again, sometimes I see the mayor at 8 a.m. at the Henry Holmes meeting, the Irving Golf Course, and all the way to the 7:30 p.m. Mixer with the Chamber of Commerce, and other different meetings that's attending here today. And truly, again, the city of Irving is very blessed to have our mayor. He's been elected for a third term, and he's been serving in the city since 1998. To make sure that we are getting the best, not just from the people that are here and they're getting that, but also attracting the best from outside as well. So I'll stop talking and I'll have the mayor come in and tell us more about a little bit maybe about himself and also some of the stuff that are being done in the community as well. So thank you for being here, Mayor.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's truly a pleasure to be with you. It's interesting for me to look around the room and see that actually I started my first engagement with the city of Irving in 1992, served on the planning and zoning for 6 years. And as I look around the room, I see Max Klein, who was our accountant. I see Jim Klein, who is in charge of our traffic and transportation. And I see a couple of people that are still here. Patty started out with our ICTN and did our libraries. Bobby Hass was, when I first came, was working in our purchasing at that time. So a lot of the men and women that you see around the room have been involved in the community for many, many years. It's always heartwarming for me to see that they're still giving back. I mean, the greatest thing that we have in our community is the people and their belief in our community. You see that today with the police department and the individuals that are here. To digress a minute about our police department, they have done an amazing job in dealing with mental health. A lot of what you see on the street, a lot of the people that are picked up, a lot of the people that are doing unusual things where they're called into have mental challenges. And over the last couple of years, we put together 3 mental health teams to work directly with them when there's these instances where they are called out, where they can diffuse a lot of the challenges that they face. And then stepping up with the homeless. The homeless situation is a real situation, and it's going to get even more real. Just reading the budget that's being put together by Dallas, they're investing $1.5 million in moving homeless out from underneath the bridges and areas over in their city, and they're investing another $2 million in putting in fencing so that there will not be people lifting it. Those individuals are going to have to go someplace. So we're going to see more and more of that in our community. And that's why it's so important to deal with these mental health issues, as well as to have this homeless task force to deal with individuals that are there. Most recently, I called because we had about 25 or 30 individuals that had taken over abandoned car worship on 635. Officers were there to help move them along. And some of them moved into other places. And one gentleman moved underneath the bridge at 635 in the park. And they were able to work with the individual. A lot of the challenges they faced was he couldn't get an ID. So they worked with him so he was able to get an ID. He didn't have a post office. He had the ability to receive checks and things of that nature, but he had nowhere to pick it up and nowhere to have it sent. So that's the type of thing that these individuals are doing and working alongside with many of the nonprofits that we have in the city as well that are doing similar things. So I am very proud of our officers and what they do and how they interact with our individual residents and our visitors. And the job that they do is commendable. As I've always said, having been around this business for 30 years, there's no better police or fire department in this country than the ones, men and women that we have right here in Texas. We should be extremely proud of what they do and the initiatives they take. Staff is, it doesn't always get talked about in the arena. As elected officials, we get to stand here and talk about the great things that are going on in the city, and the tax rate and the water rate. And we're able to give you this, and we're able to reduce that. But the reality of it is, it's done by our staff. It's done by our city management and the department heads. The things you see within the new businesses that are coming into the area. We're blessed to have what I consider the best Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development team. Economic Development team, both with Beth Bowman and her group, as well as the one led by Phil Sanders and our team at the city. I was fortunate yesterday. We talk about the businesses in Irving, Texas, and we are a city that's built on business. 74% of our tax base is paid for by the businesses, which gives us the opportunity to have less taxes on us as residents. And those businesses are over 10,000. Now we'll talk about the Fortune 500 companies and the Fortune 1000 companies all day long. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to meet with the husband and wife, 2 young daughters of theirs who are biotech engineers. And they have done great things in both California, the Bay Valley, as well as in Boston. And they've done several patents that they've sold. They've been very instrumental in a lot of different things. And they said that they were tired of working in both areas because of the hustle and bustle. And someone told them they should come to Texas. And the father said to me, I came to Irving, Texas, figuring out how I wouldn't have to stay here. He said, and after a month, instead of leasing a small building to start our plant and to start our research up again, we purchased a 400,000 square foot because we're going to grow and we're going to expand. And this area is going to be the new hub for biotech. You're going to see more and more what's been done in these other areas brought here because the talent of people that are here, the can-do attitude of the people of Texas, the regulatory rates in Texas, the environment in Texas, welcoming people, and the ability to do business. So that tells me a lot when I get the opportunity to meet these new business people. I was a few minutes late today because we have a new coffee shop. PJ's that just opened. We had a ribbon cutting for them. They're famous for their New Orleans coffee and beignets. And there were a few officers there enjoying the beignets.
Okay. This donut life.
And, so we had a good thing, but I just want to relate to you how important the business is and give you some concept of how it really affects us as a city and how it affects our standing within the city. Yesterday, I was asked to speak and moderate a group that talked about economic development. And Beth Bowman, our economic development and chamber chair, was there along with Robert, who was with the governor's office for several years and just moved into the economic development team over in Fort Worth. They're considered probably the top 2 people in the whole state of Texas for what they do. That gives you an opportunity to understand the quality, the mentality, the ability we have with that type of person in that role to make sure that we can continue to fill these buildings. I'm asked, tomorrow morning I'll be on a call with what we call big city mayors, the top 15 cities in the state of Texas, in which we are number 12 for population. And we'll talk about the challenges we face. Inevitably, the first question that will come will be, okay, Stopfer, which company did you bring to your city? The times when we would bring a Caterpillar, that would be something that one of the other cities, I'm talking about Houston, San Antonio, El Paso, Fort Worth, Dallas, those are the cities that I'm dealing with. That's the mayors I'm talking about. During the Rodney King issue, our department stood heads above every other police department in those big cities. We were the only city that had not riots or problems. We're the only city today that's still not having monthly meetings with the African American community because of that. That gives you an insight into how talented the people are that we work with. And that's a credibility that goes a long way. That's something people look at when they decide to live and work and do their business in the city. So there's just so many things that come into play as we talk about our economic development, as we talk about our businesses, as we talk about our status in the world. We have over 50 Japanese companies represented in the city that do business here. Some are headquarters, some are startups, some are doing the day-to-day things that you see. It's not uncommon for our sister cities to welcome 2 or 3 ambassadors from countries all over the world monthly, if not weekly, and talk about how you do business in Irving, Texas. We want to be part of that. So we've developed that. I spoke a little bit this morning at the coffee shop. There were several residents there. One lived up in Valley Ranch, one lived in the hospital district, one lived down by Lake Bilby. And we were starting to talk about the city of Irving. And I asked them, what do you think of the city? Well, I live in the best neighborhood. I said, well, no, I live in the best neighborhood. And so really what is our success is our neighborhood. As a city, we are a city of 60 to 70 neighborhoods that we quarterly talk about the issues that are faced in the neighborhood through our neighborhood roundtable. And that's what makes us unique in that we have a push and pull sometimes over the north and south divide. It's usually insinuated by someone who wants something specifically, and it's an easy way to rile up the troops. But the reality of it is that I know people that live in southern neighborhoods, east, north, west neighborhoods, think they live in the best neighborhoods in our city. And that's what we really need to make sure we have, is that. Now we have our challenges, just like everybody else. We're down about 250 to 300 in our employment. Bobby, we could probably have you come back and help us. We've lost 50% of our people in purchasing. So we're looking for our purchasing agents when we're issuing 120 $1 million worth of bonds a year, and we're having to write those performances and those orders to make sure that they're paid, and how everything is maintained, and contracts, which all run through our purchasing agent. That is a tremendous amount of work and a tremendous amount of work and getting back to us. A couple of things I want to touch base on that are very controversial. One is our streets program. Everyone gets concerned when we start tearing up streets, and no one more than myself. I'm not able to drive a car like I used to. I either take 161 or 12. That's how far I go. But the challenge is that as a city, we've grown completely different than we were designed. Mr. Carpenter laid all of this out. He had 4 or 5 neighborhoods planned. He had office and retail planned. He never had all this multifamily growth. And so the challenge we face is the water lines and the sewer lines that we put in were never put in to accommodate this. So what you're seeing at MacArthur and Beltline, what you're not seeing is what we've done over the last 4 or 5 years, where we have actually gone through under the golf courses, through your neighborhoods, and blown up the pipes. In other words, we could stick a unit in there and a 2-inch pipe and blow it up to a 2.5 or something of that nature, so that we can give you more water capacity and more sewer capacity. Now the challenge we've had is we've gone through all the neighborhoods and under the golf courses and all through all of this, we have to bring them into the roads where the main lines are. So we're upsizing all the infrastructure that they feed into. The challenge you have up in this area is we have over 37 providers in our right of way. 37 different people that have cable or water lines or gas lines or electric lines, utility lines. And so we can only go down so far until that person moves, and then we got to wait till the next person comes in to move, and the next person, because our water and sewer are below everything else. And sometimes we had just recently an 8-week hold up right here at this intersection because Atmos was not able to get in and get out for 7 days. They weren't able to be there to actually do the work. So that means all work halts. And those are the type of things that people get frustrated with because there's nobody been working there for a week. What do they do? Well, we can't work, we can't dig, we can't do what we need to do until they get moved out of the way. So, because we don't want to cut your power line, we don't want to cut your utility lines, we don't want to start any homes on fire or anything like that, as you've seen when other people have run into things. So that the street situation is such that we have $800 million in the streets. We're spending between 25 and 30 million a year. We're also spending between 25 and 30 million a year on the infrastructure and the water. We don't want to spend all those dollars repairing the street 2 years down the road, tear it up again. But we've got the patchwork. So we'll be working on MacArthur till 2025. That's how long it will take. We'll do a section and then we'll repair it. We'll do a section, but the bottom line is you'll have a new road from 183 to 114 at that time. It'll be completely redone. There'll be a lot of pain and anguish. That'll be something we all deal with and work our way through. We've had the same situation in downtown. We've heard a lot of things in that area. But we'll be done. It's on schedule. It's supposed to be done either in November or the 1st of December. So we're right on top of that. So those are the challenges we're facing on a 100-and-some-year-old city. That the infrastructure, and I'll take some of the blame. I've been around for 30 years. We should have been fixing it 20 years ago when it was a lot cheaper. But we are. We also take advantage of a lot of things that people don't realize, and that's dollars that we get from the federal government and state government. Many of you that live around the hospital district or along the drainage ditches that run through our city, in the main hardcore of the city, as everything else was built, you had a flood control district in Valley Ranch, you had a flood control district in Las Colinas, you had a flood control district in Texas Stadium, you had a flood control district in Alice Warren County Airport in the southwest part of our city. And all that water comes down through this one through these drainage ditches, and it was flooding homes. We had thousands of homes that when we had certain rain, they just knew that they're gonna get up in the morning and the floor was gonna be wet. And they had to pay an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a year for flood insurance to make sure that their homes stay care. So far, we've spent $120 million and taken over 1,000 of those homes out of the flood. Now moving into the third phase, the first phase of the third phase. Yes. And we were able to look at it from the perspective of it's about a $45 million hit. So we applied for a grant from the federal government for that $45 million and a loan. We were then were turned down because they said there was too many people ahead of us. Well, a lot of them weren't shovel ready, weren't ready to go, so they backed off. They called us and said, "Are you guys still ready?" We said, "We're ready to go." So we got a $45 million loan, of which they gave us $6.7 million as a grant. And the $30-some million that's left, they're going to let us finance over 30 years at no interest, saving the city over $28 million. You know, I'm the world's worst. I could stand up here for 10 hours and talk, because that was just one little thing I wanted to make sure you all know about our neighborhoods. And there's so many great things that go on in the city. It's been a true blessing for me to have been able to have had 30 years of my life dedicated to this. I look forward to the next couple. I hope when I first came on, Jim and I were talking about 3 major investments. Rick, you were involved with it. And where were we going to put the orange line? How are we going to widen 183 and how are we going to widen 114? The good news was the Sturgeon wouldn't sell us the land. So we had to move the orange line out into this right of way. First time TxDOT had allowed somebody in their right of way. Well, once we got in the right of way with the rail, we had to fix the road. And once we had to fix that road, we had to fix the other road. And then once we fixed that, we got to do what we're finishing up right now, which is the Loop 12 intersection. But the next thing you'll see is from south of Loop 12 for the next 7 miles. That'll be one phase that will be coming forward in the next 2 to 3 years. But the one that you'll really start to see change is from Beltline to DFW. That will be led here most recently. We are trying to time that so with the opening of the new terminal at the airport, we'll have that road complete as well. So that'll be, Jim, what, 3 years we've been working to get those 3 things done. That tells you how long it takes to do it. But at the time, we were going to spend about $1 billion. We're going to spend $1 billion just from the Beltline intersection of the airport. That tells you how much the price of stuff is going to be. So I thank you for your time. I appreciate each and every one of you for contributing. Our nonprofits are doing an amazing job in our city. If you have an opportunity to contribute to one, and to financial or to helping them, please do. They do an amazing job, just like this club does an amazing job making sure that the youth have scholarships for the future and the give back that you do day in and day out. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.
Well, can we give it up again for our presenters today? Mayor Rick Stopfer. Again, there's no accident that our city is nominated in a lot of different things, and it's always on the top of the list of a lot of different things. And like Mayor Rick Stopfer mentioned, it's because of all the great people that we've had helping, not just now, but to get us here. So as that continues, we hope to, more people join the city of Irving. For those people that are coming in, bring them into the Rotary Club or some of the other organizations that are focused on helping the community. Before we end up the meeting and adjourn, we're going to have Dr. Bill Labar come tell us about a couple of things going on this weekend with the flag program.
The next big holiday that we have to prepare for is Labor Day, which is September the 4th. We also keep the flags up through Patriots Day, a week later, the 11th. Okay, so it'll be a long deal. We have one more flag building session ahead of us, Saturday morning, 8:30 to 9:30. We have to build 50 flags. We're gonna, and that's all. And we're gonna try to put all of them on new poles so they can go to the Millennium Fountain for Rick's project down there. So anybody that can, I'll be there about 8 o'clock. Come by and we will be done by 9:30. I absolutely guarantee. And then we'll get ready for our business day. There it is. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. For those of you guys that are new or guests, Dr. Bill Lavar is the president-elect, so he'll be president of the club next year as well, leading the club. With that said, again, we want to thank the Rotary members for all the work and the contributions that they do, flag program, volunteering at different events that we are part of. And then any new members that are here today that are not members, you guys are welcome to come and join us every Thursdays at 12. Also, I did want to mention for all the Rotarians that are at your tables, you have this small flyer here that talks a little bit about our club, but also talks about the flag program. We have plenty of this flyer, so for your neighbors, if you want to take them out as we start to talk a little bit more about leasing a flag for next year. We do have the materials so that way you guys can show it to those people that might not have a flag and might want to lease it. Laura Manny, you have your pen up.
Yes, I just have a quick announcement. Canine Companions will be hosting a graduation ceremony tomorrow at noon on our campus at the Baylor Stoplight North Irving. We have 18 graduating with new service dogs, and I think about 21 matriculating dogs coming in from professional training. So y'all are free at noon, come and open to the public.
And that is tomorrow at noon, Canine Companions graduation. And if they want more information, come see you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, with that said, we're going to have everybody, if you could just please stand. We're going to have Val Bosek lead us on the four-way test of the things we say, think, and do.
Please join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First. Second. Third.
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
And fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?